Hey, it's Krista. Thanks for being here, showing up for yourself, and being curious today. On the Rewilding Humanity podcast, we explore the depths of what it means to be human and how to come back into wholeness, physically, mentally, spiritually. Virtual high five to all you truth seekers out there. Let's get into it. All right, Steph, welcome to the Rewilding Humanity podcast. I'm so excited to talk to you today. How are you?
I'm doing so good. I'm so excited to be here too.
We've been chatting before we started recording, and I'm just like, oh my God, I didn't know about this and this and this. And like, you, I love this. Like, like there's those memes that talk about like granny core, like this whole, like,
Yeah.
there's all these people that are just like wanting to know like ancestral knowledge and just like, there's rewilding, but there's just also the skills from our
Mhm.
grandparents that I think a lot of people are missing. And like, this is what you teach, which is
Yeah. The
cool.
practical application.
Yeah, I love
It's
that
cool.
so much.
Yes.
Okay, so to kick everything off, let's talk a little bit about your background, like where you're from, how you have all of these amazing skills, like what are all of these skills that you're offering your community? Let's start there.
Oh my gosh. Okay, that's a lot. It's a long journey, so I'll try and shorten it up. But my name is Steph Taylor. I reside in just outside Winnipeg, Manitoba. So I have a very, very short growing season.
Oh, wow.
And this all started probably over a decade ago where myself and, my ex had health issues, and health issues I'd had since I was, like, grade 5,
Mm.
and no one was helping me dealing with it, and I finally took matters into my own hands after a drug that I had been put on that was, like, the cure-all landed me in the hospital, and I lost a bunch of my organs, and I later found out that it was an off-label chemotherapy drug.
What? Okay,
Yes.
wait, what was the thing that they diagnosed you with? Like, what did they give you?
It was acne, and they put me on Accutane.
Oh, fuck it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I found out there was a class action lawsuit, for people that had appendectomies, and I ended up with an appendectomy, and that sent me learning about the medications that I had been put on, the health, issues that I had as a result, and then that was the pharmaceutical industry. I dove into healing myself and asking questions of like, "Well, where does this come from? Why is nobody asking me what I'm eating or how I'm washing my face, what products I'm using?" Like, let's go into that. And in working with a naturopath, did simple blood work and found out my hormones were out of whack.
Mhm.
Why? My products I was using. So that had me dive into being afraid. I was really afraid of like, what am I supposed to eat? The food that's in the grocery store is toxic. Going to farmers markets, it's really expensive. I'm a university student. Like, how can I do this? How can I learn how to make my own products? How can I repair my own health? Where do I start? And that started to lead me down this path. And let me tell you, I screwed up and was incredibly overwhelmed for that like 10-year process. I could not grow a thing to save my life. I have an incredibly black thumb to this day. But over that time of feeling so overwhelmed and being stuck in inaction and the things that I did try that just kind of wasted my time and money for forever. It wasn't until just before the pandemic that I got this like inner knowing where it was, you need to figure this out.
Mhm.
You have babies. You need to figure out your food. And I had already healed my body, which resulted in me getting pregnant, which was awesome. Um, but I needed to figure out how to take care of my family and actually learning the skills to be outside of the system because that was like an inner thing of like, I need to detach. The system's screwed up. I
Mhm.
know it's wrong, but how do I move beyond it? And I figured it out. And so within 18 months, I had pretty much completely detached from the system. So I grew my own food enough to feed my family for a year while still killing plants. I reduced my reliance on the grocery store to the point where I was spending less than $2,000 a year.
Whoa.
No need for the pharmaceutical industry. Basically, I never go to a store. I learned the skills that our great grandparents, like just one or two generations ago, that's how they lived. But then the system took our power away through convenience.
Mhm.
And I was able to attain it very, very quickly. And through that process, actually heal myself, not only physically, but emotionally, especially as a woman, going back into nature, being nurturing, being connected to our roots, the soil, the plants, and being able to then teach that and empower that to my family and to my kids.
Mm.
So now I help other moms learn these simple skills in a very basic way that gets you out of the system really, really fast. And it's so fun.
Oh my God, this is so cool. This is so cool. As you're talking, one of the things that popped into my head was this kind of gnarly sentence that I've said many times with my girlfriends who, have dealt with chronic health conditions. We're very aware of like the toxicity of the food systems. And it's just like everything's poison. Everything's poison. And it's so disempowering to feel stuck in a system. Like, obviously, like I spend so much money on food, so much because I buy all the grass fed, all the organic, all of the things. And it was expensive before
Mhm.
inflation. Like, I
Yes.
haven't had a budget in a while, but like, I'm assuming it's absolutely fucked at this point, how much I'm spending. So I'm super curious to dive into how you're saving people so much money. Like, I was on your Instagram and I saw one post where you're like, "Oh yeah, people in my community are going from like spending $1,000 a month on groceries to $92." Like, how? And you're like, "Oh yeah, they're still eating organic and they're still eating all the things." And I'm like, "What the fuck sorcery is this? Like, what do you?" this is this is so cool. So I'm so excited to dive into that. And then I'm also curious about um this other ancestral knowledge that you're bringing in around foraging and those types of things. So, first, let's talk about like everybody being so expensive and how you're helping people save so much money. Like, what was the process that you discovered for yourself? Like, is it gardening? Is it doing all these things? And then I'd also like to talk about like how how to manage all of that because it seems like a lot of work too, right? Because we're stepping away from convenience, right? And yeah, like how much time is required with all of this?
Actually, not a lot.
Really?
Yes. So, in my own journey, so it's been about 3 years now. And in the beginning, I worked to do everything myself because I wanted those skills. And then my life completely blew up. So, November 2021, my job was mandated and my 20-year relationship ended at
Mm.
the same time.
Okay.
So, I was completely left to produce my own finances, take care of my kids, all of that stuff. And I then didn't have the capacity to do everything myself. So then I learned the skills to not have to do that. And that kind of complements where your time is given back to yourself
Mm.
um, in the strategies of how I teach. So really, it's learning the skills, but then also going, what do I not have to do myself? And then tapping into your community and how to tap into your community to be able to get that stuff. So it really comes down to what is it I actually need? And that being kind of your first thought. Like, what would great grandma do? Go back to that because we've lost that skill of how to think and that mindset shift. And when I do it, when my students do it, it's this really awesome, empowering, cool thing to see it actually come into fruition.
Mm.
It's really, really neat. We need a lot less than we're told. and the ways that we can get it. Like abundance is literally everywhere. And when you internally recognize and accept that, you see it and then you can capture it. So organic, grass-fed, nourishing foods are everywhere in addition to the products you can make and the healing remedies you can have. It's there. It's there for you.
Mhm. So this isn't necessarily about like growing everything yourself, but there's a big aspect of just leveraging the community that you're in.
Absolutely. You
And does
can grow
this,
something if you want, but you don't
yeah,
have.
right. Yeah. So like I love growing and I love my garden, but like I am also pretty free spirited and like, and I need to move and travel a lot. So 2 years ago, I planted my first garden, like that I've just done by myself. And it was actually really epic. And I was like, holy shit, like I am born for this. Sure. Last year or this year, sorry, this summer, absolutely horrendous. Absolutely horrendous. Like I grew some tomatoes that were okay. My kale always does well because kale's easy. But like everything that I grew just like died and burnt. And like, so I barely got anything. And I did, I foraged some berries and those types of things. But I was traveling a lot this summer because I'm starting to get that energy moving through me again where like I need to like adventure. So I just wasn't home a lot. And like, can your systems work for people that are like on the move a lot too? Or like, do you have to be situated?
No, it can absolutely work. Whether you live in an apartment, don't have any land available to you, whether you're on the go, whether you have a complete black thumb, it's all about what resources you have and what type of a lifestyle you choose. You
Mhm.
get to choose. And so it's this really awesome spectrum where as soon as you customize your strategy, it all works out for you. So
Mhm.
it doesn't matter what you have, you can still step outside the system. Like it's so freaking cool. It's so freaking cool. Like I have a pensioner in BC, in Vancouver, and I taught him this stuff and he's just like, "What?" And then he started to execute it. He's like, "My life is completely changed." Like it doesn't matter your budget, it doesn't matter your space. You get to choose how you implement it and it works for you.
This is so cool. Like, you're totally selling me because I like, yeah, I'm as much as I've done, the research and I've played around a little bit and I'm working on like my foraging skills and all of these things. Like, I still feel like I'm really stuck inside the system. And a lot of it has to do with just just the way that my days are set up and how busy I can get, right? Like sometimes I get exhausted with food. I used to love cooking and I spent like a lot of time and energy into it, but this was at a time in my life where I didn't have as many creative pursuits. And so I was able to funnel that energy into food. And now a lot of times it's like I'm just throwing stuff together like a simple soup or whatever, just in order to have like nourishment. And like I'll make one soup and like eat it throughout the entire week. And so I'd really love to find ways to like bring some more inspiration, but like also easy systems that don't feel like additional work that I have to worry about because I mean, I imagine this is already something that you'd consider because you work with a lot of parents and stuff. And so everybody's busy.
Everyone's busy and I have a student was just saying she works full time, she homeschools, she's a busy mom of young kids, and as soon as she got into the program, within a month, the amount of skills that she was not only able to learn but actually execute, and she's like, "I don't feel like I've given up anything. I've
Mhm.
actually gained because this is a priority. It's not I've not lost time with my kids, I've not lost time with my friends. I enjoy it, and it's so simple to actually put into motion and then see the benefits. So
Mm.
you're able to still get what you want. So for example, like you talked about the food and the cooking and everything. Yeah, nobody wants to, well, some people do, want to spend hours in the kitchen building these meals, but you don't have to. You can spend a little bit of time in the kitchen and then have nourishing soups preserved that you can then just pull out whenever you want,
Yeah.
crack that jar open, and there it is.
Mhm.
And it doesn't take as much time as you build up in your head as well. And then just knowing how foods go together, those simple, basic skills, and also coming from somebody that doesn't like cooking and, you know, burns water, it's all still possible. And you can do it with such a sense of peace and empowerment and enjoyment is really, really awesome.
Yeah. I love that. So when you talk about like, is there a big focus on preserving in your course?
Well, we cover what I feel like are the 7 main skills to focus on, which is growing your own food from seed to harvest, preserving it, and building your own grocery store. Then cooking. So learning those skills of cooking from scratch, cooking from, a root cellar type of deal, what great grandma would do, also with dietary concerns. Foraging, learning the plants around you, what's not going to kill you
Yeah.
that you can actually use. And then building your home herbalism skills, learning how to create that home apothecary, and learning how to make your own products and your own projects. So giving yourself back the skills that, great grandpa would have or great grandma. And then money. How does money relate into it? Because we live in this society where we have to exchange time and money for everything. You don't actually. So you get to switch it. You don't have to have the 9 to 5. You get to actually maximize your resources. So those are the 7 core skills that we focus on. Most people know me for the growing and the preserving because food is such a big aspect over the last few years with the pandemic and then with inflation and everything. But there's just so much more in the program and like what I share and help people with. But preserving definitely is a
Mhm.
big thing
Yeah.
because that takes a massive amount of power back, especially financially, and then
Yeah.
with the quality of food you have.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I really love this. I love the idea of like having your own grocery store and like having this amazing pantry. I have a girlfriend who I don't know how. I think she gets a lot of support with it, but like her garden is so beautiful and it produced so much this year. And she canned so many things that like her cupboards are just overflowing. And I'm just like, oh my God, that's so beautiful. And me, like I've got some frozen bags of berries and all these things, but I was all over the place and I just I wasn't situated enough in order to get prepared like that. But that is something that I dream of.
Mhm.
And I love the idea of having, because for me, what happens is like I have weeks where I have space and energy where I want to cook and, and I have the energy to do that. And then there's weeks where I just don't, like work's just really busy, or maybe it's like a certain time in my cycle and I'm exhausted and then I don't have anything at home. And then I end up ordering out, which I hate doing. And I'm finding it's really interesting. Like my tastes have changed recently where the stuff that I used to like, there was a few go-to things, like I have dietary needs and I eat super healthy normally, but there's like a few things that I'll order on DoorDash when I'm just absolutely exhausted and there's nothing, at home that I want to eat at that point. And it just, everything is really grossing me out right now. Like I'm really noticing like too much salt and too like I don't it just it feels off. Like I don't know if something energetically has shifted for me, but I'm just like I can't even fucking eat this stuff anymore. And I'm like, damn it, like why don't I have soups in the freezer or like so it'd be really cool to have that support. Cause like how do you guys do that? Like is it like, okay, so this week we're gonna focus on doing, we're gonna batch make soups or we're gonna batch make whatever. Like is that kind of how it works?
No, it's actually really awesome. So the program itself is standalone, go at your own pace.
Okay.
And I am a sacral generator. So I definitely have to feel it to do it.
Uh-huh.
Uh, So the whole program is designed with that in mind, allowing life to happen. So you get to come in and out as it works. And there's a calendar of like what you focus on each month. So you can jump in and out and always know where you need to be at that point in time. So you're never behind,
This is
which is
genius.
really awesome. And then we have biweekly support calls. So you get to come, be part of the community, ask your questions, go through your hurdles, work on the mindset shifts. So you always have somebody there, a community there that is kind of keeping you held accountable and working with you through it all. So you're not alone
Mhm.
during all of this. And you can always, tap back in and get that excitement going again.
This is so dope. Oh my God. I got to sign up for this. Okay, let's talk about the herbalism, one of my favorite topics. How did you get started with wild crafting? What are the things that you like making? And yeah, let's start there.
Oh my goodness. Well, I apparently have a history in herbalism in past lives, which is really neat,
Uh-huh.
which is probably why I'm drawn to plants, but also struggle to grow them myself. So wild crafting is fantastic for me, learning those plants. So when I was going through my health issues and realizing that the pharmaceuticals and the products were basically destroying my health, it was going back, okay, what nourishing foods, what plants, what lotions can I make myself? And that then led me down the path of like essential oils, homeopathy. And for me, because I wanted to empower myself to be completely not reliant on anybody else, it was, can I just walk into the forest and find something and make it myself rather than having to go online to look something up or to buy a product or whatever? I wanted the skills and the simplicity to make it myself.
Mhm.
So that's where that kind of came in. And now I'm at a different place that I have the skills. Okay, what don't I care to make myself? But I know that I can do it if push come to shove, like the apocalypse. um,
Yeah.
so for me, I think the biggest things that I love making are personal care products. Like I have this amazing body oil that I use for my face as well, and then I'm able to share it with other people. And salves, I have kids. So being able to do that, like a simple plantain yarrow salve, teas.
Mhm.
Teas are really awesome because that's good for everything, for stress, for sleep, for immunity. Amazing and just enjoyable. I'm a tea drinker. And then the immune stuff too. So again, because I have young kids, you're going through colds. And so I do a lot of those kind of herbal remedies, fermented things, um, chaga, teas, infusions, tinctures. But it's all very simple. It's
Yeah.
all very simple. It's not crazy, you need a certification type of thing. It's
Yeah.
what our great grandparents knew. And I just say like great grandma because that's sort of like the amount removed of when that was a normal thing.
Mhm.
To know what plants, to know how to make tinctures, to know how to make simple salves or lotions. That's the type of herbalism that I bring back to people. I brought it back to myself, and now I bring back to other women is that simple, basic home apothecary that you feel comfortable and confident in. And then you empower your kids.
Yeah. I love that. Yeah, you mentioned that your kids are running around looking for plantain when they have a cut because they have that
Yes.
knowledge now, and their friends are just like, "Whoa."
Yes, it's so, so cool how quickly they pick it up and like the skills in the kitchen, the growing. I mean, send a kid out to the garden after they've known how to grow something, like they've seen it happen, and they'll eat a carrot covered in dirt. And you're like, "What? Who are you?" But it's just really, really cool to see that simple empowerment come to them, and you know that, you know, what's happened over the last couple of years, your kids will know enough and feel confident enough to say no and stand in their truth. That's the biggest thing for me. is to give them that confidence that they will be okay.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That's so beautiful. And I love what you said about like not needing a certification to be able to go out and start interacting with nature and creating your own products, because really, like, everybody who's listening right now, like it really isn't that hard. And if it's something that calls to you, there's so many ways that you can just start doing it. Like Steph and I were talking prior to recording, and I was like, I my process has included using like an app on my phone to help me start identifying. And once you've identified something once, like you just know, right? Because there is a remembering. Like I'm very similar where I've had past lives working with plants and stuff. And that's one of the biggest, I guess, purposes in this lifetime is connecting people to plants. But I had to do it myself. And I didn't really, I didn't have a teacher. I had to like just figure stuff out on my own. And I have taken like courses here and there for little things that I get interested in. Um, but it's like once you learn the one thing, right? Like you just go to whatever's drawn to you. And yeah, like all you need to do is a little bit of exploration, and it's really, really quite simple. Like it's just stuff that you generally have in your house. So you can just go to the health food store and pick up. And yeah, like it really is that simple. And then when you have like that first experience of a remedy that you made yourself, like I talk about this one time I had a cough last year, and it was like one of those like nagging coughs. And I was feeling like shit that day, and I knew I needed a good sleep, and I really didn't want to take cough medicine because fuck it, like I'm just over all the pharma stuff. And I'm like, oh, I have all this mullein, like let's try some mullein tea. And I had 1 cup of
Yeah.
mullein tea, and the cough just stopped, and then it didn't come back. And I was like, whoa,
What is sorcery?
like I didn't expect it to work that well, you know? And it has to be the right conditions because mullein works on like specific symptoms, right? Like sometimes having a knowledge of like herbal energetics is always helpful, but that's stuff that you can learn about later, right? Like
Yeah, refinement over time.
totally. Yeah. But like just start trying stuff, and yeah, you'll just be so surprised with the results.
Yeah. The intuitiveness, I think, is the really, really cool part. When you start to learn about the plants that you're drawn to, it makes sense why you're drawn to them. Same thing with kids. Kids will start to be drawn to plants if you encourage them to ask questions, like find something, ask questions. What they're being drawn to
Mhm.
is also very fascinating. It's so fun.
Yeah. And a really easy way to start, like if you have a yard, herbalists will often say that what your body needs will actually start to sprout in your backyard. So
Oh
you
my gosh.
gotta be careful, like if you're in like the place that I live right now, like they spray and like, oh my God, I hate it. I have to get out of here. So I have to be careful around anything that I collect from my backyard, but I still notice the plants. And it changes every year for me, which is really interesting. Like this year, I noticed a lot of mallow coming up. Um, Always some dandelion. And I love it because like I have a garden, which the spraying people avoid because oh my God, I would literally just murder them. Anyway. Um, but I have like a little space in the middle of my garden where just like natural stuff comes up. And so I actually have some really nice dandelion and stuff that gets quite big because it gets watered. So I'll harvest from there. And I've been focusing on gut health for a really long time. And I'm not sure if this is the type of mallow that it's from the same family, but I have been working with marshmallow root quite a bit for the past few months. And I um, incorporate it into my bone broth. And I also make these really amazing herbal marshmallows, which are so good. And they're just gut healing on so many levels because you're using gelatin along with the marshmallow root, which helps to seal the gut. And yeah, I love that. I love getting clues from just like literally what is growing in your backyard. I also noticed, because this hasn't popped up before, but I'm seeing Oregon grape popping up, which is really cool. And that's full of berberine, which is really great for blood sugar regulation. So again, like you're not going to necessarily know all those things right away, but like once you get curious, you can take like your little plant identifying app out into the forest. And I swear, like there really is like it's something that you're already drawn to. Once you have a name for it and you're like, oh, okay, like something to help identify, you never like you don't forget that plant ever again. Then you start to see them everywhere, which is really cool.
Yes, absolutely. That's exactly it. You follow your intuition and you start to learn more for your specific situation. It just naturally, organically happens, which is so freaking cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the practices, because a lot of times, and this is my experience, right? A lot of times it's like, oh, what should I be doing? Right. Like you might be scrolling on Instagram, and if you're following herbal people or whatever, it's just like, oh, spring's here. And so we need to be focusing on these organs and, here are the plants that are coming up. And yes, absolutely harvesting 4 seasons. But getting into the practice of like, what am I feeling? What does my body need? Right? Like, where am I feeling, even on like a subtle level, that I could use more support? And this is still something that I struggle with because being in the system that we're currently in, we've been indoctrinated over our entire lives to not trust our body or our body's messages. So we don't even really know how to interpret them in a lot of senses. So it can take time. But once we kind of have that dialed in, like there's just so much sovereignty and so much power in that system.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We get so lost in having other people tell us what we're supposed to think and feel.
Mhm.
That is such a big, big thing. So it goes back to what do you actually need? And the only person that can tell you that is you. And so it's learning how to practically look at your needs, but also intuitively, what do I need? And that over the last, I mean, many years society, but definitely the last couple years, it's been women that have been in this protector mode, this male zone. And we've forgotten how to connect with ourselves in that ease, that joy, that peace, that inner connection. We've handed our power away. And we're so many of us feel that I need to get back, but I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. I want to learn the plants. I want to do the nourishing cooking. I want to have the stocked larder. I want to grow and get my hands in the soil, but how? I've got kids. I don't have time. I'm following all these people, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's going back to the basics. What do you actually need? Going back internally, healing that, and then having that step-by-step how-to of the actual skills in a way that actually makes sense and gets you out of the system. So that intuitive connection. Oh, I love, love, love that you're talking about that.
It is. Well, it's this practice of embodiment, right? Like
Mhm.
tuning your body like your body is nature,
Yes.
right? And once you start interacting with plants and with nature and tuning in a different way, you start to receive messages, And it's funny, like I talk about this a lot on the podcast, but like I had an experience where I was starting to get pushed on to this new path of working with plants in a different way. And I had an intuitive guide be like, the plants are talking to you. Are you listening? Like, do you hear them? And I was like, no, like what, like voices? Like, no, but what the fuck are you talking about? And she's like, no, no, no. Like there's other ways of sensing things, right? And so that is part of the practice as well as like there's all of these other senses that we can start to attune to that are the way that nature actually communicates to us. And it's things like awe and fascination. Like for me, flowers talk to me so strongly. Like when I'm walking through the forest and it's spring, and so like spring is just, oh, once the leaves start coming out in spring, like I go from just like a total, like by the time it's February here in Canada, like I'm just ready to pack it in. Like I need to be around green and vibrancy in order to feel green and vibrant. So once the leaves start coming out, like my energy just, and we don't consider like how potent that is and like how that's actually medicine, you know? And as I'm walking through the forest and the first flowers are coming out, or like if there's scents, like when you're so drawn to something that you have to go and touch it or smell it or whatever, like that is information. That's something that you can look deeper into. There
Yeah.
might be medicine there for you. And flowers, something that I want to start getting into is flower essences and working with like the frequency of the plants, because a lot of flowers, you can't necessarily eat, but there's other ways that you can work with them. And it's more on like a subtle energetic level. But like, yeah, that's one of the things that I've learned this past year is there's just something so special with my like all of nature, but in particular with flowers. Like I just obsess. I
I
posted a
love
content like during the springtime because my health food store started carrying these little hyacinth plants. And you know how they smell so beautiful? They're kind of like lilacs. I would buy one and I would carry it around my house and I would put it on my bedside table and I took it everywhere with me and it smelled so good. And it was healing me. Like it was just like, opening up my heart. And I was just like feeling so much better just because of like the smell and the frequency of that flower.
that is Tulsi for me. Hands down, Tulsi.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
So how do you work with Tulsi?
Bring it around and smell it.
Yes. Wait, so you grow it? I've never grown, like I've never seen it fresh.
I actually don't grow it, but I have a friend that I've made that runs a herb and medicinal like flower farm that you can actually go to and harvest all these medicinal plants.
What?
And so I know it's the freaking coolest thing. The coolest thing. Harvest as much as you want. It's amazing.
Oh my God.
Um and so I harvest from them because I am not like the world's greatest grower,
Mhm.
nor do I'm not really in my garden very much, just with what's happened in my life over the past couple of years. Like this year, I think I went in there like 3 times. So that's it. It has
Yeah.
to grow without me. Survival of the fittest.
Yes.
Um, and so I get my stuff from them and then I have like a bag and a jar and it's everywhere and I just go and I smell it. I'll make teas, I'll do bath salts because
Um,
I love taking baths and that just helps to calm me and relax me. And that's one that I've been drawn to over the last couple of years because of my life situation. So Tulsi is my relaxer, my de-stressor, my releaser, my let goer. And just it brings me such peace.
oh, I love that. See, I want everybody to have a relationship with plants like this.
Mhm.
Like it's so beautiful and so nourishing. And I think we just don't, yeah, we've just been conditioned to not understand why we feel certain ways in certain
Yeah.
environments. And just that noticing. Like another thing I talk about is like, when do you ever go on a hike and then like come back? Like, when do you ever go into the forest and then come out and feel worse?
Right?
Like, never. That's not a thing. Like,
I
you
actually
feel
when
different.
it was almost a year ago because my separation's been 2 years, but there's lots that's happened this year. I was driving home and I live by a provincial park. And so I was driving down the highway and I actually pulled over to walk into the park to hug a tree. Like
Aw.
I just felt
Yep.
this absolute go hug a freaking tree. These are massive 100-foot huge trees. You have to go in there. And I had been feeling it for days and I finally just pulled over and I'm like, I'm looking like a crazy person on the side of the road, but I don't freaking care. And it was the most beautiful experience, like it's fresh snowfall, just walking in and looking up at all these treetops. It I just had this amazing release moment in that. It's absolutely true. Like forest bathing, that energy is amazing. And then you're on this healing journey. Life is all about healing and what we go through and empowering ourselves and releasing that and connecting back to who we are and our intuition. Getting back to these skills that relate us to nature, where we're supposed to be versus this man-made, disconnected, disempowering system that we have now. Over the last couple of years, so many people have seen that that system is not okay.
Wow.
And it's just a matter of how do you get back? Getting back is so powerful. And it can happen simply and really quickly.
Oh, that's so exciting. I'm so looking forward to joining this community. I have to sign up now. Yeah, because one of the things I'm thinking too, and I'm just so interested in these tips that I'm sure you'll share within the community, but like I have done the thing like definitely during the pandemic, I was like, okay, like already fuck the system, but now extra fuck the system. And where are the local people, right? And I have somebody right across the street that has eggs. And there was a local farm, or there is a local farm that does meat. But I still found like it was kind of expensive, like a little bit less. But yeah. So I don't know if you have tips or resources from people that you can source from for certain things that are more reasonably priced. Like, because that's a thing too, when you're getting the local stuff that is really good quality, like it's still like it's fucking expensive. Like I've looked into like buying half a buffalo and maybe over the long run it does save you money. And maybe that's just the economics. And at the time I'm looking at the price and I'm just like, oh fuck, like I don't know. Do I really want to spend that much? But like actually it would save me money. Like are those things that you kind of go through as well?
Yes.
Mhm.
So the process, I sort of tell everybody it's 18 months. Like give yourself 18 months because it's a seasonal thing. You're going to be learning and refining over time. But within 18 months, we're going to get you back to the system. And there's mindset shifts that you have to go through where we're convinced of the grocery store. And then there's like the natural health food store. And then there's the farmers markets, but they all operate similarly. So then when you start to go direct to farmer, okay, there's that aspect, but then you go even deeper of what great grandma would do and how she would be connecting within her community and how you then learn the skills, not only how to connect, but then how to exchange things and resources, doing the bartering and trading. What does that actually look like? How do you find your people that that's going to work with? We go deeper into that, which is a really, really cool, empowering thing because you're getting out of not just the system, but then it's like homeschooling is not school at home. You
Mhm.
have to go beyond that. There's like the unschooling. So
Yeah.
it's getting to that level.
Yeah.
And so I'm 3 years in. And when I look at it now, what I've been able to do in the last year, the amount of meat I have gotten for basically no cost is wild. And
Wow.
then it comes to you because there's also what I feel is that energetic shift, that manifestation, that accepting of abundance also brings people and situations to you when you stop thinking in a certain way is a really, really awesome shift. And so my students are working their way through that pattern and that growth cycle that, I say 18 months and I've had students tap out of the system, 6 resign their jobs. It's just been really, really cool. So your expenses just start to shift the more you start to learn the skills and the mindset that our great grandparents had, where you're tapping in on a completely different level of humanity.
Mm. Oh my God. I love this. I love this. Okay. Well, we're getting close to the end of our time. So I think we need to talk about this event that is coming up.
Yes, 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 yes. Okay, so over the last few years, this freedom community, the community that has stood for change and stood for authenticity and stood for humanity, really connectedness, has helped save me. And anybody that has seen my journey, knows my journey, has lived their own journey similarly, understands. And I want to give back. So I am putting on an event. Sort of think of, 2020, everybody wanted to learn sourdough and growing their own food because they were scared. And that was the reaction they had. Then 2021 fall, jobs were mandated and families had to think, how am I going to put food on the table? How am I going to, house my family? And they were scared. So I am putting on an event that's going to help teach people simple, basic skills where they can then feel more confident that if they were put back in those situations, they wouldn't have to waver. They had that confidence and empowerment. So it's going to be a free event. You can register. The link is here, or reach out to me on Instagram. It is going to be a free event. We're going to have speakers over the course of a couple of days. You can come in, watch these skills, learn them, empower yourself. You're going to connect with other Canadians, probably some Americans too. And you're going to be able to broaden your community and your skill set to just feel more empowered of what you're capable of.
That's so exciting.
I thank
Oh
you.
my
I
God.
thank you to give back.
Yeah. Oh, I love that so much. And I love that you're focusing this around building community, right? Because that's really why we are in the system that we currently are in right now is this in that has happened in Western society. And it leaves people feeling really alone, right? And like we don't even know how to leverage the resources and the people around us anymore. Like we're literally losing people skills. Like even for myself, like, I have a fairly good community, but like there's still a lot that I do on my own. And I live in Kelowna it's like a town home kind of like complex thing. And because it's right across from a golf course, literally every single one of my neighbors are like geriatric. Like they're all elders. And I don't know any of them, like I've never really taken the time or made the effort and like I probably should, I know the guy across from me, like he used to have a farm and stuff, like I should really take the time just to know the people that live next to me, but it can be really difficult. And I think there's also a layer to that. Like if you are a part of the freedom community, one thing that I've noticed that has happened for me energetically over the past few years is that, I feel like people have shown their true colors in a lot of senses. And because we were treated like such, monsters and pariahs, and like it was just, like there's still so much healing that needs to be done around that. And so there's like a level of like, ooh, I don't really trust a lot of people, which is not great, right? Like that's something that I'm working on healing. Um, so a good first step is just getting integrated into a community that you do feel a lot of resonance with. And then once there's a lot of light kind of flowing through that container, then, it kind of starts to trickle out into other people. And then you can start supporting other people and then other lights start turning on.
Effect.
Yeah, exactly. So I love that you're focusing on community.
Yeah. It is all about healing and empowerment.
Mhm.
We're at this stage now that I feel like this is the next step
Yeah.
to bring everybody back, because we have seen and understood that we're actually united on more than we're divided. Our divisions are actually fabricated. So coming back in a neutral space of just learning skills, because why not? There's nothing wrong with it. There's no losing in this. So rebuilding that community, that connection, just something else that people can talk about, and to find your people, to find people that also want to learn how to forage or to, preserve and can or cook nourishing foods, just to find those people, because you feel like the black sheep. You're like, I want to be like Little House on the Prairie, but nobody else, because I live in a high rise or a condo situation. Like, how do you find your people? It seems really bizarre to speak about. So this will be like a beacon. I am more than happy to be that lighthouse and have everybody come together. And it's really cool in our community too. Like we just had a call and a new person found they for years have felt like there's nobody around me. They found somebody that lived 20 minutes from them on our call.
Oh,
Yeah. And there's another situation where two Newfoundlanders that lived an hour away from each other found each other in our community. So it's this really cool, if you're feeling called to it, there's a reason for it. You're going to find your people. Follow your intuition, connect with yourself, because that's what life is, right? Like building those connections and healing. I think this is going to be really, really awesome for a lot of people.
yay. Oh, okay. Well, everybody who's listening right now, make sure you go check out this free event. We're going to have a link in the profile, whatever you guys platform you're listening to right now. Make sure you check this out. I'm definitely going to be there. I'm super excited about it. And yeah, any other ways that people can connect with you, Steph?
Yes. So I'm on Instagram. You can follow me at spruce.acres.homestead. Reach out to me. I'm very old school. You want to talk, you got to reach out. You want to learn more about my program, the basics, contact me, shoot me a DM. We'll hop on a call and we'll just see, we'll just chat. We'll absolutely chat, see if it's a good fit. And otherwise, just come share your journey with me. I love, love, love connecting with people and just building that network and that humanity, and it just continues to grow. So come hang out, say hi. I don't bite.
It's true. She doesn't. I just DM'd you and was like, I absolutely love your shit. Come on my podcast. And you were like, yes, I'll be there. Amazing. Well, thank you so much for spending time with me today and sharing all this amazing information and being so generous with this offer. I think it's, just absolutely beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. This has been so fun. I absolutely loved it. And I'm so excited and honored that you invited me.
Oh, thank you. All right. Well, so everybody who's listening, make sure to sign up for the event, share this with everybody that you know, and make sure to review this podcast and give us a good rating. We rely on our amazing community in order to get this into more ears. So thank you everyone for being here, and we'll catch you on the next episode.
Big love as always for being here today. I appreciate you so much supporting this project. Here's to truth, unity, the mystical, and the magical. If you want to connect more, hit me up on the gram at magic, magick.maven. I'm a lover and maker of herbal potions, beautiful environments, brands, adventures, and wild crafts. So if that's something that lights you up, I am always up to some wacky adventure and would love to connect with you there. If you feel called to share this episode, please do. This is a passion project. I'm not doing any sponsorship at this time, so it would mean the world. Thanks again, and see you on the next episode.